I don't wanna be a player no more. Surely.
From our community. Yeah. And as much as there are films being made by people that look like us for our community, there just seemed to be a lack of diversity by way of storytelling. You know, unfortunately, it just seemed to be a bit, you know, sort of about gangs, you know, negativity. And to be honest, these things happen. These things do happen.
Anyway, you dodged the bullet.
Who are you raising your voice at?
Come on, Gwen. Come easy, please.
I don't wanna be a player no more. Surely.
From our community. Yeah. And as much as there are films being made by people that look like us for our community, there just seemed to be a lack of diversity by way of storytelling. You know, unfortunately, it just seemed to be a bit, you know, sort of about gangs, you know, negativity. And to be honest, these things happen. These things do happen.
Anyway, you dodged the bullet.
Who are you raising your voice at?
Come on, Gwen. Come easy, please.
Good evening, good evening, good evening. It's positive affirmations to everybody out there. And as you can see, Sam has joined us already. But before, I want to say big, massive love to the whole of the universe before we even start this show. To anyone afflicted, we're sending you love and healing vibration. To anyone that needs to be pulled up, dragged up, tugged up, we're sending you hugs to bring you up. This is us, this is me, Valerie, standing in my truth, and it's all about you. And my guest, I'm chomping at the bit just to get to meet and speak to my guest. Look at him, he's been all modest. But, you know, and, you know, Sam, for me to even be online, knowing that my beloved Spurs, I could have cancelled. But my beloved Spurs are playing Liverpool. So hopefully I'm recording it so it's okay on BT Sport. That's how much you're worth it.
Yeah. Good luck to Spurs. Yeah, good luck.
Good evening, Sam. Please give a big, massive hello to everyone out in Cyberworld for me.
Good evening. I hope everyone is well and everyone is being safe in these crazy, crazy times we're living in.
Fantastic, fantastic. As I said, guys, today I have Sam, and he corrected me because all week I've been going Addo, is Addo is with us.
No, you've no reverse.
Right way, didn't I?
You've been saying Addo. It's actually Addo.
So Sam's mum.
So shall we try that together? Shall we try it together?
Yeah. Sam's mum and grandmother is now going to have words with me. Totally, I'm going to now have words. They've already told me what the pronunciation, and I still went back to the old way. Should we say it together? It's Sam Addo.
Well done. Well done.
You can tell I'm British.
It's all good. It works.
Oh my days. Right. Oh my God. Sam is in the house, and as I said, I'm chomping at the bit. Sam is a film producer. And there's a lot of more strings to his bow. But rather than me tell you Sam's story, because it's not all about me, and as you can see from behind me, if you look, it says the All About You sessions. It is Sam. Welcome, Sam. Thank you for taking the time out, because I know you've got a busy schedule. So let's kick straight in. Sam, welcome. Please tell the viewers where you actually from. So let's go right to the beginning. Where did you originate from?
Well, my parents are from West Africa, Ghana to be precise. I was born and raised here. I'm an East London boy, born and bred. Know what I mean? Cool, leave it.
Where are you born and bred like?
And I was born and raised in the very lovely Wapping.
Oh.
Wapping's lovely. and then I now reside not far away. The family home is in Mile End, and I've got a little place in Limehouse, which is not far away from Mum and my brothers and stuff. So East London.
You're like a
you know,
Docklands boy, aren't you? Really,
a little bit,
Limehouse,
a little bit.
Limehousey,
Yeah,
Royal
Wolves,
Docks.
yeah, yeah,
Oh,
all of that, East
cool.
London.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so that, so you see, and you've stayed within your roots, really. You haven't really moved away from,
No,
veered
not
too
really.
far
Not
away
really.
from there,
I
have
have
you?
family in South London, but you know, who wants to go to South London? I'm missing.
Your
But no,
parents.
I am in East London. I am an East London lad.
Oh, you're in East London. Whoop whoop. So am I, really. Well, don't
True,
let my
true,
mum
true.
hear you say that, because she's going to say, no, you're not. You're
Mm-mm.
from Hornsey, Swiss Cottage, so behave yourself. Do you know what I mean?
No,
Growing
no.
up, what was it like growing up? You know, what were your aspirations growing up in that area? Tell me a bit more about that.
Growing up with African parents, immediately by the age of 10, I was being told you're going to be a doctor, you're gonna be a lawyer. There's no real discussions. You know what I mean? But I also knew from early I didn't like blood.
Yeah.
That wasn't going to happen. Do you know what I mean? But what was it like? I mean, I was fortunate. You know, I had both my parents. Yes, they were strict, but there was love. There was love to, maybe not love in the way that we would like it, but there was love to a degree of
Mm.
sorts. You
What did
know,
they do? Tell me, what did your parents do?
my dad
As
was an electrical engineer, and my mother was a nurse,
Okay.
um, and ended up working in retirement homes with the elderly and so on and so forth. Um, Very charismatic man, my father. But in the I'm sure as you can imagine, raising son, I have two brothers. So in the early 80s and 90s, my parents were raising three boys in racist London, shall we say. So in the 80s and 90s, my dad worked. He had a really good job actually, working for the Greater London Council. It was called back then, which I
Yeah.
believe is
Was it the GLC or something, wasn't it?
GLC. Yeah, it worked for
Yeah.
GLC,
The GLC.
which is now, I
Yes.
guess, Tower Hamlets. So a really
Yes.
well-paid job as an electrical engineer. He had loads of people working under him, but to my understanding, the majority of those who worked under him were white males who were angry white males. So they'd have to follow instructions in a 9 to 5 structure, and then after 9 to 5, he'd he'd face ridicule and I guess abuse, right? Because he's no longer their boss after 5, right? So
Yeah. Yeah.
so he the best way of saying it, he didn't handle those settings in the most uh, best way, and we'll just say he brought his anger home. So there were some bleak times, um, and a lot of families have had all sorts of pain and trauma, whether it's through violence or alcohol abuse, so on and so forth. So growing up was it was okay. There was another option. I could have very, very early on in life. Myself and my brothers, we was at a boarding school. I think I was about maybe 7 or 8
Oh
in
wow.
Ghana,
Okay.
which was a real masterclass in discipline. But I was thankful that we came back and was raised here.
Right.
So
Right.
of course we struggled a bit, and then we had good years, and and maybe as kids we saw some levels of violence maybe that we shouldn't have seen, but that's the world we lived in then.
And
And
was this when you saw this at boarding school? You saw that level of violence, you say?
boarding school and
Okay.
my earlier
Regular.
years, I would say. But not to skip too many years ahead, but I guess my early teens was walking the streets of London. It was evident. These are the days of the NF BMP. You could actually tell when someone was a bit of a rough racist because they'd have tattoos and stuff that almost announce it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I remember studying hard, having no choice to study hard, or else you'd feel it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
the rare times I was allowed out, you stayed in packs, stayed safe, and you kept out of way. Do you know what I mean? I remember I probably don't think I was allowed out till I was like 17, 18. My parents had a room. It was like a spare room turned into like an office where you had to do your homework, and any mates that came knocking, can you come out and play? They were told to
No.
come inside.
Oh
And then
right.
we had a bit of a snooker table, we had a bit of a piano, and and that was possibly one of the earliest points in my life where I was, I guess I couldn't even escape creativity because there was a room with a snooker table and a piano. So that's you know, you
That's
could occupy
creativity
yourself
right there.
right
Yes.
there. And, then,
Yeah.
and so instead of going out and getting up into mischief, or shall we say, bumping into the BMP types,
Yeah.
you know, so from early, I guess I was involved in music. I think when boys were out driving cars, trying to get girls or whatever, I was in boy groups and stuff because we'd rehearse in in this little spare room because we're not allowed out, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, but yeah, I
So
don't know, man.
that
Growing
allowed
up,
you, that groomed you a lot, really, to stay away from trouble. You know, you were,
absolutely,
yeah,
absolutely, and it
yeah.
helps me and my close friends. It helps us to hone our skills, whether it was in singing or songwriting or dancing, which then we've all gone off to just develop other lanes of creativity, for which we're all, in fact, the small circle of individuals I'm talking about, they're all somewhat involved in the entertainment business.
Are
So
you
I'm
still in
going to
touch
take
with that
credit.
circle?
I'm definitely in touch with, if there were five of us, I'm in touch with three of them.
Okay.
Uh,
Okay.
so we're a good 35-year friendship, yeah.
So your
Yeah.
formative years is basically that, because that's a question I was going to ask you. You know, you already had the feel of being creative. Your parents actually instilled that in you. When did you get that, when did you find that, that feel or that touch that you wanted to be behind the camera, or something to do within the entertainment or creativity world?
I remember I was really in a boy group, 13, 14, 15, singing and dancing and trying to be New Edition, basically.
No, 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 no.
Um,
Rewind. You were.
yeah, yeah, pretty much.
Sorry,
Yeah.
I didn't mean
You-
to sort of howl like that, folks.
No, you can have
Sam
this is your
said
show.
he. Sorry, calm. So, can you please go back? What was the name of the group, Sam?
Don't laugh too much.
I'm not
Yeah.
laughing.
The
Jesus.
group was called Simone. Don't ask me why. Simone. The five of us. I was one of the lead singers.
Yeah.
I was trying to be out of the hall. Ooh-wee, all that kind of stuff. And we had a management situation with a single deal type opportunity, but everything went wrong. But the more we went into it, not only did I love being on stage and interacting with people and all of this, and I very quickly established, oh, you probably got to make some music videos and to be seen and heard, right? You know. And then before we ever made an actual music video, we broke up and everyone went off to do their own things. But then I found myself dabbling in a world of horrible, crappy looking music videos. So I made, between 16 and maybe 18, 19, I made 30, 40 videos.
Oh,
And
really?
they were poor. They were really poor.
What, did you
But
make them yourself, or you were involved in them?
I stumbled across, like, for instance, with the five of us in the boy group, and one guy went off and made another group, and one of the guys was a solo artist. So I was cutting my teeth, making very, very ropey music videos for my pals. But then by the time I'd done 10, 12, 15 videos, someone's gone, mate, you got a camera. I was 50 good for you. So I made a video, and it was a half decent video, right? It was a half decent video. So suddenly I'm getting asked to make videos. So I think before I was 19, I'd made 30, 40 videos.
Are you lying? And at that time,
I
we
don't
didn't have
lie.
YouTube, did we? We didn't have YouTube
We
then.
didn't used to, we had MTV, but none of them were good enough to go on MTV. But what it was doing was giving me the confidence to do everything, to direct, to edit, to be the cameraman, and generically just have some fake living room scene with a bottle of wine that no one's gonna open. You know, 'cause that's all the concepts were. You know,
Yeah.
hey, baby, look. Then you cut some girl with a leg, and you cut to a guy with a bottle. You know what I mean? Like that. And you cut to a guy, you know, they were whack. I'll keep it real. They were
Yeah.
whack. It was all the Running Man. It was all there's the Spike Lee tilted angle shots.
Yeah.
They were really badly done slow motion. But it helped the next phase of my life and career, which was I was doing all of these things, keeping it all a secret as much as I could to my mum and dad, because as far as they're concerned, you're going to be a doctor.
You're going to be.
And there was some sadness that really led to some greatness, which
Yeah.
was an experience I remember having. I was really, I was definitely 18, 17, 18. The boy group had subsided. I was doing these little video things, knowing I'm never going to get them on MTV, knowing mum and dad don't want to hear about, what do you mean you're going to do? No, you're interested in film.
Yeah.
They want to do music, because they just want us to make money and to be able to survive, right? Didn't understand or see how you could have a future. And it was a sad day where my mother had a phone call that she had a few hours to see her brother before he passed. This is our uncle. And Uncle K happens to be one of my favorite uncles. So we drove across London. He was in state somewhere, and we was in East London. We was racing to get to this hospital before he passes.
Yeah.
We're young. I'm the middle child. I've got my older brother, my younger brother, and we're gonna go and possibly see this man on his deathbed. So we've gone in, and everyone's had some time with him. I'm thinking, I'm young. I'm thinking, I don't see him. I heard his cancer. I'm terrified. But he calls for me, and he's sort of like clearing the room for aunties to come and talk to him, and this person, and then he called for me, and I'm like, oh, my mum was like, Uncle K wants to speak to you. I'm thinking, Mom, I'm gonna go and say, I'm a young kid. I don't know nothing.
Yeah.
So my uncle's final words to me were, Sam, I know Mum and Dad want you to do, they have their dreams for you. But don't you ever give up on the goals and dreams you have. I know you're creative. And it resonated with me because Uncle K was one of the first black men to write for either the Independent or the Times, I can't recall, but he was effectively telling me, whatever their goals and dreams are for you are their goals and dreams for you. But never forget what your dreams are for you. And maybe less than 2-3 hours later, he passed, right?
How old were you?
19, 18, 19.
Oh, wow. Okay.
The first time I've ever been in that environment, someone passing, someone my mum's brother, right? So, so I took that to heart where, a few weeks later, I was like looking at TV and looking at things differently and looking at my really shoddy music video thinking, I'm looking at Spike Lee videos, I'm looking at Bell Biv DeVoe, Poison and all of this, I'm thinking, you can see this stuff costs money. So how do I get into this world, So I started looking at credits on films and music videos and to see who are these people and understanding there's a guy called Hype Williams and he's the guy behind Bad Boy and Diddy and you delve further and realize, these things cost $800,000 and they're using helicopters and it's like no one that looked like me was doing that in the UK.
Yeah.
In fact, the only face of note in front of the camera was Lenny Henry. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
so
right. Yes.
So what I used to do is I'd just go to Soho and try and find production companies where there was executives or talent like Lenny Henry. I'd try and find these organizations and try and speak to these people. And it was very hard to speak to anyone. It was very hard to get any guidance, any advice. I remember writing letters to people like Tim Westwood saying, hey, man, I'm trying to get into the creative industry. I think I want to be somewhere in film or music. Let me carry your bag or do whatever for free.
What was the feedback? What was the feedback like? What was that about?
It was always no. It was always, and it's particularly anything urban or black. Anyone who looks like us. I'm not going to name names, but there's a few people that were famous back then in those days, and their attitude generally was, if you knew what I had to do to get where I am, you'd understand why I can never help you.
It's not changed.
It hasn't changed, but that spirit is precisely why I always hear, particularly from women, why are you so helpless? Why are you helping? Because there's such a distrust.
Stay closer to your microphone. Stay closer there. Yeah.
There's such a distrust with our people, and because I was told before the age of 20 by people that look like us who were in position, I can't help you. I can't help you. You hear me?
I can hear you now. I lost you for a little bit.
Essentially, my spirit, the way I carry myself, the way I do what I do in present day, I try my best to help as many people as I can, particularly women and particularly the black community and the disabled community. I do my very best to help that community with no agenda.
We'll come back to that. I'll stick a pin in that because I want to come back to that. I've got a whole, as I said, I've laid just exactly, I want to come, bring ourselves to where that is. So you've been told by your uncle that to follow your dream. and follow your dream you did.
Absolutely.
Yeah, follow your dream you did.
Mhm.
And to serve your apprenticeship, you took your pride and you stuffed that pride where you want it to shine, but you actually took it and asked for help. Even if you didn't want to. Is that what you're saying? You didn't want to, but to get where you
Yeah.
are,
Well,
you had to
yeah,
ask.
it was hard to know where to go because you can wing it but so far, right?
Right.
There's a big difference between where you are independently and you look and you see that, oh, that guy's he's kind of doing what I want to do and he
Yeah.
seems to be living. He seems to be providing for his family. How do I cross that bridge? So, I reached out, I spoke, I was waiting outside people's offices, whatever, I was willing to do anything I could to get in the game. Those opportunities did not come easily. However, off the back of these 30 plus music videos that were all very, 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 very bad, um, I believe somebody, my name must have been in a room because I actually got an email from someone at the BBC saying, "Have you seen this link?" This person emailed me. I didn't know this person. This is early doors when it comes to email or the internet, and they were like, "Look, BBC are looking for promo directors. You're looking for promo directors, and you need experience, but above all, they need people of color. They need black." So I've gone in and had 3 interviews over 4 or 5 months.
3 over 4 or 5 months.
You have to remember this. I'll tell you the actual year. This is 1999. Yeah, this is 1999. The year 2000. Them times. I had 3 interviews apparently for 4 roles. There were 4 roles. They reckon in those days over 3,000 people went for this role or these roles. A trainee promo director is someone who makes promotional content for the BBC. So the BBC don't have adverts, right? But they'll be like, this Friday on EastEnders. You know what I mean? Those things,
Yeah.
Some of them are clip based, where you use the clips from the forthcoming shows. Some of them are an absolute concept.
Yeah.
So I'd gone and had my interviews. I mean, looking back, I think I got the role fair and square because I was good, and they'd seen that this boy with no money's made a shitload of content.
Yeah.
Right. Pardon my
Yeah.
language.
Yeah.
But I always look back thinking.
Yeah,
Was
but
it 'cause of the black-
that it's on merit. You didn't have that
Yeah.
leg up. You got it on merit.
Yeah. So essentially, I had I think I mentioned a 6-month placement. I was there for 2.5 years. I left on my own steam because there was definitely a world of racism. I can't say it in any other way.
What
If I didn't
program
leave-
did you work on? Because from what I've read, what program was it that you worked on at the BBC?
It wasn't a particular program. I wasn't on the program making side. I was on the promotion. I was in a team called the Creative Services. So we made commercials. So I effectively helped launch 2 channels, BBC Choice and BBC Science. They have since become BBC 3, BBC 4.
Wow.
Yeah, BBC Choice, BBC Science. They were where programs like.
So you're a founder, basically, aren't you?
Not at all. No. Please don't say that.
No.
I will get sued.
You need to just take
I was
the
part of
credit.
the team that made really cool, zany commercials to attract the audience to BBC. That's one role. The other role was, hey man, we've got money. We're gonna make a history channel, a science channel, and something called BBC Choice, which was at the time it's meant to be for the young people. But like I said, years later it became BBC 3. So there was all these new programs coming in, and it was for us to make graphics and the kind of adverts that would entice people to come in. So we're talking writing scripts, casting people, shooting content with often very, very big budgets. And knowing what I can make today, I'm like, man, there's some stuff they gave us 40 grand, 50 grand, and I could have made it for 2 grand. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But different kind of levels
that's how it was.
That's how it was. That's how it is. So I didn't make any programs. I never made programs for BBC. I made commercial content to drive an audience to the channel.
So after 2 years, so you saw 18 months, 2 years.
Yeah, so let's say they close to 18 months, 20 months. Yeah.
You digressed away from that to what? Where did you go next?
I'll be honest. What it was is, I've got to speak my truth, right? That's what this.
That's what this is all about. Right? And this is why I'm what you hear.
It was an extremely well-paid job. I was 20, early 20s. And I was definitely helping pay a good chunk of my mother's mortgage. and that's probably the reason I stayed longer than I needed to actually.
Son did good.
But
Son did good.
randomly, my line manager and some of the higher hierarchy, they would talk in such a way that made me feel so uncomfortable, which let me know that with the kind of spirit I have, I am going to have to leave this place, or I'm going to end up being the absolute angry black guy. Because
Okay,
there was
let me stop. Whoa. How uncomfortable. Remember, this is standing in your truth. You don't need to call any names. But what were the things that were so uncomfortable?
I would
Speak
openly
it.
get called.
Sorry?
I would openly get called Sambo, Darky. Openly get called that. Like, what's the problem? Well, I can't call you Sambo. It's like calling Robbie. Robbie, what's the problem, bruv? Like, I've got issues. You know what I mean? You know, when a 52-year-old or anyone in that age bracket, you know, old middle-aged white men are like, you speak rather well, don't you, Sam? You know, you speak rather well.
That's patronizing.
You speak really eloquently, don't you? And where are you from again? Did you go to university? Those little small microaggressions, those little slight little, they were constant. They were constant. They were, you know, there was one perfect example. There was one of my first assignments was, oh, Sam, they're talking about we've got to do something for Black History Month. You know, so this will be one of my line managers, white male, openly gay as well. So you'd think he'd be more supportive, but he was like, sort of begrudgingly, my boss is saying we've got to do some Black History Month stuff. You're black, so what do you reckon?
Wow.
So I wrote some stuff. And I wrote some cool voiceovers where I wanted to hire people like Trevor Nelson, some comedians, and some authentic, just members of the public, where we could deliver voiceovers with great visuals in our authentic voice. So you'd hear Friday at 9, the Caribbean season, for instance, but it would be a old West Indian woman's voice. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or some middle, you know, some elder African accent. I got shut down like I was an idiot. Openly as well. It wasn't no cloak and in the back room. It was like big open meeting. I'm probably one of the few black people in the room. You can't possibly. You know what I mean? It was like there was a lot of that. I know things have changed. They must have changed massively. But what I just explained there, one, that happened, but there was multiple things similar to that, which just made me feel like, boy, I'm not the guy that's gonna go start complaining to who. Like, it was sort of.
Did you feel that you could? But did you feel that you could complain though? Did you feel that you had a position that you could actually voice your concerns?
If I remember the details correctly, there was a HR department, and the most senior woman in the HR department was a black woman, and she, like most of the handful of black people, you know, I've come into the BBC, I'm charismatic, I'm charming, and I remember the sister saying, "You have any problems, come to me, Sam." But what she really meant was, "You have anything you're not comfortable with, come and talk to me." But it felt more like, "Come and complain to me," and I didn't want to come and complain. I was going to just hold it as much as I could, but it was so regular that I knew, nah, man, I'm not going to get caught out here choking somebody and get sacked. You know what I mean?
Sorry, I didn't mean to laugh. Choking someone.
No, so it was one of them things where it was like,
you basically stood up for yourself.
You know, yeah, like for instance, like I said, I was only meant to be there 6 months, right? After 6 months, you get made up. You got levels, get more money. So now it's all 8 months. I'm asking questions. How come I didn't? Oh, don't worry, Sam. You know what I mean? It's all night. If they say now, oh, okay, I know. Maybe whatever. Maybe you know you can't expand the team, but surely my money must go. You know, I kept on getting parred off a little bit. People have been there 3 months. They don't look like me. If you understand what I'm saying. Yeah. And they get raised up. And then when I'm looking down the line, all of the senior program directors, they're all white. And with the exception of maybe a very, very fair-skinned, passable black person. Like, so someone who's mixed race, quarter caste maybe. And, you know, in the instance I'm thinking of, that particular line manager had no real ties with his sort of culture. He was raised by, you know, his white mother and whatever. So I just found it really uncomfortable. I know for sure I was loved and respected by my peers, but the older, higher hierarchy, the line managers, the major executives, you know, and it was certainly a culture of come to the pub with us, and if you don't come to the pub with us, you're not really down with us. And it was like, and I tried, I'm sure I went once or twice, it wasn't my thing. I'm not there trying to have beer and then maybe get enticed into lines of cocaine because it's the thing to do. You know
We've
what I
all
mean?
done
None of
that.
them do it.
We've all done
You know what
that.
I mean? So,
It's being part of the team, isn't it?
yeah, yeah,
You've all
yeah,
done that. But as you just
yeah.
said, it didn't sit right with you. So you've come away rather than, as you said, choke someone to death. Sorry, I got to laugh. You held on to your sanity and you
I was
stepped away.
disillusioned. I was
And where did you
disillusioned. When I
go
walked out,
next? Where did you
when I
go
walked out,
next?
I was heartbroken. I was
Oh,
heartbroken and convinced myself, this ain't for you. Remember before BBC, Sam, the few people that we're not going to mention who were of note, who were in the game, who had a face and a name, they were like, can't help you, brother. So I've made it to the BBC now myself. I'm making some good work. I'm making some decent money. And everyone above me is, I'm like some alien because I'm a black guy, a dark-skinned black guy at that, with a brain who can speak well, who isn't always street, blood, you know. You'd think that should help you, right? Didn't seem to help me. So when I left, I was broken. I was disillusioned. I didn't know where to go. I just went to retail. I honestly told myself, Sam, you got no place in the game, bro. I couldn't.
You're
With the exception of
joking.
Spike Lee,
Yeah.
with the exception of Spike Lee, I couldn't name one black director. I couldn't. So I went and worked at H&M for 2 years, convincing myself, you love this. You love this, Sam. Didn't love
So
it.
now
I
you're
was,
now mid-20s now. You're mid-20s,
yeah, yeah.
disillusioned.
And what it was is, I was working in H&M and they put me in, I'll never forget, they put me in a section called BIB, Big is Beautiful, right? So it's for big, beautiful women, right? That's the section, right? So I just spent
Sorry.
my whole time flirting.
Sorry, I
I
got
just
you.
literally,
You just
no,
come to
no,
make me
no,
laugh
no,
today, right?
no, no, I'm going to keep you laughing because that's just who I am. But I spent my whole time just flirting with women, right? I just spent my whole time flirting. The whole time. But in doing so, I realized that this ain't for me, man. Behind a till or showing a lady where the 5'16" and 5'22" is. You know what I mean? And the more I spoke with my colleagues, the more I realized I might have made a mistake, but how do I get back into the industry?
Right.
And the thing that changed it all for me was this. Alongside my work colleagues, there were these lovebirds that we all sort of get together. And after my year or so of being there, they decided they were going to leave London to pass this new, blah, blah, blah. I'm a big romantic at heart.
That's a massive romantic gesture.
And it is. And these times, I hadn't shot nothing. Anything I filmed was with BBC money. But my vision was bigger, yeah? But I still had my equipment from my rubbish music videos.
Yeah.
So I said to the 36 team members, listen, I'm going to coordinate some COVID, like some undercover filming. Some people are going to meet me on the rooftop, under the stairs, in the canteen, because we're going to do a film where it's like, like a farewell video.
Yeah.
Like, take care, Mary and Paul, we love you. Well, best of luck. I made one of them, but I made it was like a movie.
Yeah.
Right? It was
Yeah.
beautiful, it was heartfelt, and when we done a little surprise party for them, we showed the film. Not one person didn't cry. And then we gave them a DVD because it was still them time. But once I made it, one of the staff was an artist. He was like, Sam, make me a music video. Then it sort of snowballed and it made me think, you know what? I'm confident. I'm charismatic. I'm back in the game. I don't know how I'm going to be back in the game, but I'm back in the game.
So on the back of that one person, did you do a music video for him? He was an artist.
I made one video for him.
What was his name?
I'm never going to remember that name. But, we're talking 1994, 95, man. You know what I mean?
This is early, yeah.
Yeah, it's early. But then what happened is this. This is so beautiful. It's actually, you're bringing back some good memories, right?
Well, this is what we're talking about, standing in your truth. Come on.
Thank you. So off the back of that, I have the courage to leave H&M. But now I've kind of made a bit of a name for myself. And without realizing, I didn't know this, but the whole time I'm making my coin at H&M, I've made a name as, oh, you're Sam Addo, you're from the BBC. Like, because there were so few of us that if anyone saw me or saw my face, obviously this is before social media properly, it's like, oh, you're from the BBC. And I'm like, no, I don't work there anymore. But off the back of that, I started getting asked, oh, do you want to, like rappers in particular would be going to the Princess Trust events, and I'd go and tag along and I might film something. But what really changed my life was I went to Afro Hair and Beauty.
Oh wow! I used to go to there.
right?
Stay in that right position because I can hear you beautifully. There's no crackling.
Perfect. So I've got Afro Hair and Beauty, yeah. I think
Yeah.
it's 92, 93, right? No, it can't be 92, 93.
I was gonna say.
I'm getting this so wrong here. It's not 1993. That is 2002, 2003, right?
Right.
2001,
Okay.
2002, right? So I've got Afro Hair and Beauty. I've never been before, and I'm just surrounded by beautiful black women, mostly, right? But remember, I spent 2 years just talking to women, so my confidence is wild. So there's all these other camera guys trying to film and stop women and get people's attention, and I'm just saying all the right things. So everyone's coming to me to be like, and I'm giving them the direction. So I'm like, hey, so on action, you say, hey, I'm down here at the Afro Hair and Beauty. I'm doing all of this stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm just filming. By the time the day's ended, I've got loads of numbers. I've got loads of business cards, and more importantly, I've got great content for whoever it was I went there for. Right? I've clearly gone to follow someone, but I've used the opportunity to make content for myself.
Yeah.
So you get home, and back in those days, everyone used business cards. So I've got hundreds of business cards. I'm going through them, really trying to see if there's any cute girls. And then there's one business card, and it's the manager of the then Ben TV television station.
Yes.
His name is Alistair Saunier. I believe he's made his money. He's multi-millionaire. Made his money as an agent for African and Caribbean football players.
Yes.
And he put some of that
Ben
money into
TV.
churches,
Ben TV.
flipped the money, and it has Ben TV. He said,
That's
I love
correct.
and he literally said, I'll be watching you. The way you maneuvered with the women, you were getting all this content. You didn't alienate anyone, whether they were young or old. He really gave me a compliment. But I was just that was just my natural vibe. And that's who I am today. I'm a people person.
Yeah, you are. Yeah, you are.
So he sent me this card. He's given me this card. Yeah, so I've gone in. I've looked at the cards. I've thrown away 97% of them. 3 of them, 3 or 4 of them I've kept. Then I've realised, oh my god! So I've done my research on this guy, and I called him up and I said, "Thank you for your card, dude. What's up?" Then he's like, then he's bigging me up. The way he was for people. Da, 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 da. I've got my channel with Ben TV. You may have heard of it. I hadn't heard of it. I think you'd be great doing some youth programs. So I was like, these times I'm just thinking, where's the money at? I'm freelance. I got no money at all now. You know what I mean? This is all happening.
It was all about the money.
Yeah, of course it is, right? To a point. So I said to him, well, what do you want? He goes, I don't know, but I loved your whole energy, and I just know you could probably bring some good programming here. So I was arrogant and like, well, what's the money? And he was vague, couldn't really tell me. But essentially, I've gone home. These times I'm getting more confidence. I've learned that you can build your own computer, get your own editing software, and I was thinking, no, maybe I can go this alone. I won't work for the B. I'll try and do music videos. And so I did. So I was doing christening, weddings, funerals, hated it all. But it was starting to bring me some coins. And the whole time I'm editing, to the left of me, there's 5 or 6 business cards that I'm like, I'll ring them at some point. So I systematically go through these people. And then I rang Alistair and I said, I've got a show idea. I have a TV show idea. It's got 2 names. And I gave him one name and I said, but the second name I think is better. It's called No Bling TV.
No Bling, yes.
I'll shoot it in a park. People will perform in the park. I'll wing it. I'll ad-lib it. I'll do an interview on a bench. Literally like this. I'll fully winging it. I was like, and it's an opportunity to get these kids off the streets. He was like, Sam, shoot 1 episode, and if I like it, we'll do business.
Yeah.
So I think July 2003, I launched No Bling TV. By 2005, maybe 18 months later, it's quote unquote the #1 youth program.
Yeah,
on
Bling
the channel.
TV. Yeah.
No Bling TV, right? So it was like no frills. It was like if you're talented, it will shine through. Because at the end of the day, if you're in $100 grand studio and you're rubbish, we will know. Just like if you're incredible, if you're Prince or Michael Jackson in a £2 studio, we're going to know, aren't we?
That's correct.
Because the talent will always shine through. So that's what No Bling TV was about. So we've done that. It was on every Wednesday at 10 and then repeated on a Saturday at 10. and I got paid like every single artist because it was about a coin to me. Every single artist that came on the show, we charged them like £25, £50 to come on the show, and every episode was 4 artists. And I think I filmed 2 episodes, so that's 8 artists every Sunday for from 2003 to 2006. Every Sunday, never miss a Sunday because you'd miss some money, right? Filmed an episode. I filmed 2 episodes and delivered an episode. I delivered episodes on Monday. So I filmed them on a Sunday.
And then edit it the whole night and be
Sunday
ready.
and Monday.
Wow.
Deliver it on Monday night, maybe Tuesday morning, and it aired on a Wednesday. And I had to be like that. So because if they needed changes or whatever, there's a bit of time to change it, you know what I mean? So we've done that, and through doing it, it just snowballed. My database snowballed. It helped me get to know people like Tim Westwood and Chris Goldfinger, and it opened doors for me. And
yeah, but aren't these the same people that? But aren't these the same people that in the beginning, when you went to them, asked them, they?
I know better. I know better now. But a few years ago, it was like, oh my God, I'm so glad you want to be my friend now. You know, I was a bit naive then, but like these days, I was like you know, there's a story about my new film where some people I went to for help weren't showing me no love.
We'll come back to that. We'll come to that. We're going to come to that. But so bring us up fast forward. So you're now doing these videos. Here you are. Mm-hmm. Your name's getting noticed.
So what's happened is I've done bare shows. I've done like a dancehall special, R&B special, under 18 special, comedy special. Then I've done a spoken word special. I've done 3 of them, and they came out really good. So I don't know how much you know about the British spoken word history world, but if you know about Best Kept Secret, Tug Star, and all these people, they came on the show and they did a madness. They smashed it to bits. And then my phone rings, and it's some lunatic sounding guy. And I'm thinking, this is a joke. Who's this? Who are you? You sound like that. You sound like that. I'm like, who are you? And cut on story short, this guy's on the phone saying, I own a channel. Someone said you can save the day. Someone said you're the guy to save the day. And I'm like, who are you? And it's a guy, God bless the dead. His name's Darren Platt. He passed away. This guy, Darren Platt, owned Channel U.
Oh my God, this is where I was going to show you because this is what I've got right here. Go on, keep talking about Channel U. I'll bring it up. Right. Go on.
So Darren says, come in. I want to show you something. So I'm like, I don't know who you are, bro. I've never seen the guy. I was so busy doing my thing, I didn't really see the rise of Channel U. So we've come in, and some of his team are smiling at me, showing me love, and I'm baffled, thinking, okay, maybe they watch No Bling. So they put on No Bling, and then they say, have you been watching our channel? I'm like, no, I'm busy trying to get this money. Like, you know what I mean? You know, I'm busy. Like, and they literally said to me, to the effect of, you know, not word for word, but they effectively saying, what are you doing half an hour? We're doing it in a 24-hour capacity. And I read it to mean you are a bit of a competition to us because you're doing it with no help, but we're bigger than you, so you probably need to be with us. And it was music to my ears. It was one of the first real acknowledgements that I'm not rubbish. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And this is like, let me try and do the maths. I mean, he must have been 50 plus. So it's a middle-aged, you know, big 6'2" millionaire white guy. This guy made money off R&B ringtones, lost all of his money.
Wow.
And made it back.
Right.
So he was really arrogant. He was actually a really arrogant guy. And I can't say with reason, but I understood why he felt his shit didn't smell. Pardon my language. So I guess that's a reassurance policy to ensure that I wouldn't leave without saying, yeah, I want to be part of Channel U. He puts on something that looks like a spoken word campaign for Channel U, but it was shot badly. The sound was whack. The people that were participating were super rubbish in terms of, not to be rude, in terms of they could have been warmed up, or someone could have said, that piece is really good, but do you have a stronger piece? Like, no one A&R'd it. No one helped them. Right? So he showed me like 5 minutes of it. And I was like, okay. Knowing one of the biggest shows I've just done is a No Blink spoken word special, right? And it was part 3. I've done loads, right? And he's seen maybe 12 spoken word artists that he knows I could probably get like that because my database is healthy. So he puts on 5 minutes of his spoken word thing. Then he plays mine. He puts mine on. I start laughing. And I go, he goes, look, listen, we got 10 grand to do this. And someone's bugging it up. and in fact, they spent the whole money, but we still got to
You mean
deliver.
they spent the whole budget on the little crap that he showed you?
Yeah, 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 yeah. Well, no, really, they spent the money. They spent the money and not spent any of the money on it, which is why it's so crap. You know what I mean? So they basically said, "Can you save the day?" Because we know, without even meeting you, from what people tell us, you can redo this probably at half the cost, but have a really good roster of artists. I was like,
Yeah.
yeah, I can do that. So we haggled over some money. I delivered. I'm not going to even lie. I knocked it completely out of the park because I insisted I used their equipment, which was much better than mine, right? So, and with me, certainly in my younger days, I always do my best to under promise and over deliver. It was one of my briefs. It was one of my when I used to study American executives. I was like, yo, if the budget's 10, I'm gonna say, look, I've done it for 7. You know what I mean, knowing I might even lose the rest of that money. You know, often it would be a bonus for me. But
But it was
so
about content and quality, though.
well, that was the intention. You know what I'm saying? That was always the intention. I mean, I knew I wasn't BBC level. I knew I wasn't BBC Three, Channel 4 level, but I was trying to get there. And at that point, I was always a one-man army. But so I played my position right. I delivered the thing. Every spoken word artist on it are all very relevant spoken word artists or rappers in their own right to this day. It got me a nice amount of money. Then he offered me a deal, like come in and be head of production over here. And I'm like, but no bling, man. What about no bling? And so it was sort of like, and I had to be honest, like, can I do no bling? Can I carry on doing no bling? And I nearly pulled together a team for them to run no bling, and then I'd go to from that point, no bling slowly faded, and then I developed shows for Channel U. And then slowly things just went a bit left with the channel.
You left them.
Yeah, I left my brand. I went to Channel U. Had some small victories.
Can you name some of the
things...
artists that you dealt with over at Channel U?
Oh, I remember talking to Tiny Tempo when he was like 15, 16. I remember talking to Chipmunk. I remember the first time I ever saw N-Dub come in and start doing business with the channel. No, I don't think there's any artist that didn't come into the office in those days. Wiley or whoever. Sorry.
Derek, can you see that?
Oh yeah. But yeah, so I think it was around 2005 to 2007. I was at Channel U, I think. So I left.
So you did the whole Channel U.
And just realised.
And
yeah.
But by this time of leaving Channel U, so what's that? That's like another 2-3 years, because after a while, Channel U.
So let me try and do the scale, just overview the scaling of things.
Yeah.
I was at the BBC at 2002 ish, and then 2002 to 2003 ish, I was at I don't think I was at H&M longer than a year. I was at H&M, and then H&M and No Blink TV overlapped. So No Blink was birthed late 2003. I did solely No Blink from 2003 to 2006. It lingered in 2007, but I was making the crossover to Channel U, and so 2006, 2007 was at Channel U. That lingered till about 2008, and then at that point, I'd worked for the BBC. I'd done loads of freelance for every channel in a very small capacity, an associate producer or whatever. The Channel U came headhunting me. So by way of confidence, I was like, yo, man, I think I can make films and all of that. I know what I'm doing now.
Because that's what I was going to say to you now. When did this film part come into it? Because now you're still doing
film
all
part
these
came
productions. And
it was the biggest gamble. The biggest gamble was 2009. So it's a year or so after Channel U. I realized that, I can make music videos and stuff, but there's more to that than me. And, there's more to me than just music videos. I want to make some short films, some comedy. So I was dabbling. I was writing. I was collaborating with writers. Can I do sketches? Can they be funny? Can I keep your attention as a writer? I was making mistakes on purpose to see what my limits were. Then I wrote my first... So I'd done loads of writing with people to get to a point where I knew, oh, I can write, and I am not rubbish. despite my long history, which at that point was nearly 10 years, right? So 10 years from BBC. Clearly, before that, I was
Yes.
doing those ropey videos. But so I just got to a point where I was like, if I'm going to do this, I got to do this.
You keep
And
going
I've
back
always
to
been
those
fair.
ropey videos.
I got to keep it real. But I always had love and admiration for the likes of Spike Lee and John Singleton. These are, in case anyone watching doesn't know who they are, they're phenomenal
Yeah.
black filmmakers
Yeah.
from the 90s. And I'd always reference
R.I.P.
them.
John Singleton.
R.I.P.
Yeah, we
indeed. So
lost
I'd
him
always
last
reference
year.
them. I'd always look at their work, and I'd always use them as a register to what I want to do and where I want to be, right? And so by, I don't know, 2009, 2010, Spike had done, shall we say, gang movies, love movies, like he'd done a range of things. So I think I tried to find a blueprint here, and there wasn't anyone. Who was my blueprint in 2009, 2002? There wasn't a Spike Lee over here, per se. In fact, it became one of my nicknames. All my allies started calling me Spike, because everything, they were like, if anyone's going to go to America and do this, it's you, Sam. You're Spike Lee type thing. Hollywood Sam, I got labeled with that as well. Hollywood Sam, right? So I wrote a film called Blood, Sweat and Tears. It was a hood road movie with a slight twist.
What was it called? Sorry, you broke up
It's
there.
called Blood, Sweat and Tears.
Yes, yes.
Blood, Sweat and Tears. It's my first short film that I completely wrote, directed and edited and produced. It's about a tale of a young man, a good guy called Aaron, who isn't in a gang, but one of his closest female friends gets raped by the local hoodlum, and because of lack of evidence, this man gets away with it. And so now this girl's a bit of a laughing stock, and wherever she goes, she's getting ridiculed, yada yada yada. So Aaron decides, look, I'm gonna go and do this guy something. He's completely out of character, but his mates know that's not your character, that's not your heart. So they go with him. They do something that looks like a robbery to hurt and harm this person. And somehow, some way, the guy finds out, and it's this big ending. I vowed that that'll be my first and last hood movie, because I don't truly subscribe to the bang bang N-word B-word
That's
B-word.
right, which is, I'm going to talk about that. I'm going to talk about, yeah.
Not to ever disrespect anyone else. There's loads of stories we can tell. I'm not telling those stories. Yeah. So I made that as an entry level to prove to myself that I can make something somewhat captivating with no explosions and helicopters, because there's no money for it, And it helped me understand the protocol of working with cast and crew and blagging venues and blagging from free food or a driver, And I didn't look back from it. So I would say from 2010 to present day, my friends and allies remind me, Sam, you've got a lot of work online, haven't you? If I choose to not make it private, I've definitely got loads of. I've done like podcasts and debate shows light years ahead of what's been going on the last 5 or 6 years. I just didn't give YouTube the respect it deserves. In 2010, 11, 12, YouTube was nowhere near as big as it is now. I would probably done stuff like this, but didn't think, I should probably promote it. I just would leave it sat on YouTube and not concern myself with driving an audience to it, which is one of my weakest elements of being a creative. But I would like to think I'm well-rounded when it comes to all elements of production. Anything I work on, I'm going to produce it and market the heck out of it. Yeah. Big budget or no budget,
Yeah,
but,
you have to.
Since 2010 to now, I've definitely made well over 40 short films.
I'm going to stop because I'm going to play little bits. I want people now to get a gist of what some of your concepts are. So hold on a second.
Oh boy. What have you done?
Oh boy.
What have you done, girl?
I ain't done nothing. But I love this series, and I'm hoping that it's going to play. But check this out. I'm going to play 3 little things, and I loved it. I loved it when I watched it.
Oh, bless you.
Oh, I loved this.
Did you watch the whole series?
All of it.
The micro series?
All of it.
Listen, I did like you, but this is getting ridiculous.
Yeah, I do things like this.
Why do you think I'll be okay with this?
I can see it. I can't hear it, but maybe your fans can.
I'm not the one who cheated.
You're absolutely delusional if you think that she's going to be part of our life.
You want me to tell people what this is?
We were never even
Yes.
friends. It was obviously
Hold on.
didn't care about
This is a micro web series. It's called Bestie. It's a play on words. It's about people going to a particular place for a break or for their lunch, and this particular bench, there's two reoccurring people. They're consistently coming to this bench, and they slowly but surely get to know each other. And they may or may get together in the end. Who knows? You have to watch and find out. But
Yeah.
in doing so, you come across some interesting characters. It's a piece that came from like a labour of love. I just come off the back of making a short film with a
This
set of
one.
twins.
Because the fact is, the one that we just watched, I love the fact that you
They're very
felt
short.
like both people were talking to each other, but they weren't.
Oh,
They were
yeah,
having
that's
two
my
separate
style.
conversations, and the guy in the middle was in a bit of a turmoil. See, there it is again. Bit of a turmoil, and he's listened to both these conversations, and on the back of that, he's got up and told, I don't know if it was his missus, his boyfriend, whoever it was, I'm not coming back. I'm leaving.
Yeah, it's just it's just some intriguing content that hopefully
It really
lets you
did.
watch the next episode and the next episode. It was purposely done that they were so short. By the way, viewers, firstly,
Let me
I
see
call
if
it
I
a
can bring the other
micro
one
web
up.
series.
There was another one. This is another one I loved.
I call it a micro web series because every episode is under 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Because in the real world, if you're making 30-minute shows, they really do cost a lot of money. You got to pay people bigger amounts of money, so on and so forth. But we have a guy and a girl that slowly, possibly fall in love.
Yeah.
Which is
But you can
possible.
see that. You can see that she's at one end, he's at the other end. These two in the middle are just having their... And it's like a park bench that everybody goes to lunch every day, that same bench. And, it's out there. Do you know what I mean? I really...
What did you think of the ending? And be honest, the way it ended, how do you feel?
What, in this
Without
particular...
giving it away.
This particular episode?
No. The final
The
episode
final
of the series.
scene. Right, okay, I'm going to take this off and bring us back. Okay, so the way it ended for me was, well, not for me, for what the concept that I got from it when it ended was, actually I'm going into the love affair. Was it the last affair? So no, because you've got another one which was like the best affair, which I love that, where the guy said, I've taken you for dinner and I will blah blah and I will love I went to go to all the romantic movies with you. I better not, because I sat and watched that.
Oh, you're talking about First Last Date.
Yeah.
Sorry, you're talking about one of my films.
Huh?
You're talking about one of my films or a different film completely?
No, these are all yours. These are all your films.
First Last Date. You're talking about First Last Date.
Yes.
A lot of people like that film.
First
A lot of
Last
people like that
Date.
film.
Oh my God. And I just,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna play it for anyone because I want them to go and find it and watch it themselves.
Well, hopefully you will tag them
I will.
underneath in the description.
I will.
How about
It's
that?
called The First
Yeah, that
Last
was a really
Date.
cute film. But,
Great.
yeah, First Last Date.
Oh my
Really
God,
cute.
brilliant.
Yeah.
I loved it. The only thing that got me was when she started to take the photos, and I don't mean to give it away for those who are going to watch it, when she was going to, take all the photos, and she's going, go on, blow me a kiss, and he's going, nah, I'm not blowing you a kiss. And I thought, sugar, is he going to get violent?
No.
But it didn't.
I mean, that film was a few years old, but if I remember correctly, the way we played it was he was trying to do the whole, I'm a big, men don't blow kisses, men don't smile. That's how he was trying to play it. But,
Yeah.
the audience will always receive things differently, but I'm glad you enjoyed it.
I did.
So,
I really did.
Just because the audience have been shown Bestie, and I don't know if you saw the last episode or you're mixing it up. But
Oh yeah, I did. I'm mixing. I've got different mixtures here. Sorry, I'm not
the
playing them
last
in the
episode,
sequence.
the very last episode, they somewhat seem to get together.
Yes.
Is what I'm saying.
Yeah. And it's
And I was
always
just curious how you felt about that.
the black girl and the guy at the end. That he's got the glasses, and she sits with her book and with her banana. She looks over at him. He's reading his book, and this progresses all the way down. And obviously, she's watching him. And then there's a one where her friend, talk about the willy. Oh yeah, the DJ with the willy. I was like, oh my days.
So
Are
for you,
having
it
this-
felt very real.
Sorry?
Did it feel very real?
It
the
did,
series
because that's
feel
exactly
very real?
that's how women
It's life.
talk. That's how girlfriends talk. And the guy sent her a willy picture. I won't use the word.
Yeah.
He sent her a willy picture, and she's going, "Oh my god, that willy's big." And I was like, "Oh my god!" So I couldn't play that one. I wanted to play that one, but I'm not going to.
Yeah,
but
it's a bit rude.
Loved it. I loved it. I loved it. So
We had a bit of sadness on that series.
it,
The sadness being there's an episode, which again I don't know if you've seen it. There's an episode where it's a day or two after the lady in the film. She meets up with her platonic friend. We think at the bed. She's really sad because an episode or two before she breaks up with her boyfriend.
Right.
And they're both on this bench in a moment of sorrow. But in that silence of sorrow, there's this elderly chap talking about his recent sexual conquests. Did you?
I need
see
to
that
go back
episode?
and listen to that properly.
It's a hilarious episode. It was also sad because that happened to be the last scene that gentleman ever played because he passed away a few weeks later.
Guys, you really need to go and watch.
If you get a
Bestie.
chance, you should definitely give it a chance from scratch because the whole series is about 9 minutes. It's a micro web series.
Yes.
None of the episodes are longer than 2 minutes. So when you can.
For anyone that watches this back and whoever's still online with us, it's called Bestie, and it's 8. They're only about a minute long, but it's open to your imagination. I truly loved it. I had it on repeat for a while today, and it just. Because at one point I kept thinking, what the hell's going on? But then when I played it back, then I thought, I thought that's a great concept. And which brings me to, you as a person, when I've gone through, and I'm going to come to your latest film, which I really do enjoy. Now, for those who don't know, Sam did a movie called Cards on the Table. And when I saw the title, I thought, oh yeah, it's got to be something to do with casino, or do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
that's what people thought. And you saw and I'm going to show up the the images.
Flyer.
Yeah, and I was like, oh right, okay, cards on the table, blah blah blah. Yeah, these guys are in a casino. It was far from it. It was completely. I'm just going to play the trailer again. But I want to play it this way so people can see it. Here we go. Here's a bit of the trailer of Cards on the Table. God, I hope people can hear it.
Well, I can't hear it.
Someone has come to me up and said they can. So
I can actually hear it. I can hear it very slightly.
I always have.
Oh, it's so good to see this again.
How could I?
I want to know if
Anyway, you dodged the bullet.
Who are you raising your voice at?
Oh, come on, Gwen. It can't be easy for him.
I don't want to be a player no more.
Charlene!
I know you're going through stuff, but we're all going through stuff, bro. Snap out of it.
Why am I not with my family, Q?
Yeah, sure. Don't be this one.
You know what, Frankie? You always like to come across like Mr. I got it all together all the time. What, like you ain't got no skeletons in your closet?
Wait.
That's a really
Cards
good film,
on the
guys.
Table. Now, the thing is, the trailer does not depict really what this movie is about. Do you know what I mean? It really does.
You can't give it all away.
I know.
You can't give it all away. So that's why the trailer has to be mildly interesting.
It does, because when I saw the trailer, I was like, it doesn't give me anything. So what did he do? And why is a girl slapping him? And what? And then I sat and watched and then I was like, oh my God, what did you do to the sister? Oh, I'm giving it all away already. Sorry, but you know. And at the birthday party, oh my God. Yeah. Anyway.
Did you see the ending coming? Be honest. The first time you watched it.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Was it obvious?
Do you know what I mean? Not at all.
We set out to make a sleepy, slow-paced drama, knowing most audiences want to know everything in the first 4 minutes.
Right.
So we knew there's no guns in this film. No one's gonna get called the B word or the N word. So we went into it knowing we're doing something different. It's a diverse cast. You may not have noticed the gentleman who's in Bestie, the lead guy. He's also got a very small role in this film.
Right.
Like I said earlier, I have a real passion for helping women and people of color and people from the disabled community. My friend and actor friend Evan, the lead of Bestie, is in this film as well. He has a disability where I believe he was born with a curved spine. But yeah, man, this film was a labor of love.
How long did it take to make? How long did this movie take to make?
Well, generically, historically, feature films would normally take 20, 30 plus days, right? Because of budget, location, times, and just availability, but really budget. I shot in 7 days and 7 nights. It's unheard of.
I was going to say.
You shouldn't be making a film in 7 days and 7 nights. It's way too much stress. I feel like we've done 18-hour days, but it's when you love something, when you have a goal and a dream, you could and ah about it forever, right?
Yeah.
Or you get up and do it. So God bless me. I assembled a team.
Who wrote it? Who wrote
Myself, and one of my closest friends, Dwayne Valentino. We worked at Channel U together, and we always spoke of making films and so on and so forth, and we'd joke around about making parodies and just comedy stuff to make people laugh. But it must have been, I don't know, 2012, 13. They just seemed to be loads and loads of kind of hood gangster movies. Again, I'm not taking nothing away from anybody, but I became a father in 2008, and I've got loads of friends with kids, and I was in a stage of my life where I like my kids to see my work. I don't want to have to show them Tyrone talking about coming out the hood.
Yeah.
I want to shoot you. I want to stab you in the. Where's my gang? It's a bit. One, it's a bit played out, and two, I'm just interested in more human stories, more everyday stories. We all know the gang life stuff happens, and it's there. And I just think we've seen that story many, many times.
That's what I loved about this film, because you could have had a gun element in it. You could have had elements of violence in it, but you chose to take the softer approach, which is what I really enjoyed.
I think this is why it's important to try. If you're creative, at least, this is why it's important to try and own your stuff and be in control of your stuff. So you don't answer to anyone but yourself. Like yourself, right? You've decided, I'm going to have a YouTube show. It's going to be called this, and this is the formula, etc., etc. If you were doing it for Channel 4, there'd be so many flipping hurdles. You have to introduce it like this, darling. You need to end it like this. At the 8-minute point, we're going to do a competition for something you don't even care about. Do you know what I mean? So it's hard. But we decided we're going to fund this ourselves. We're going to promote it ourselves. We're going to give people a chance. We're going to work with great talent. We're going to do our best to market it incredibly well. We did.
And
it
did. Tell people, where did it go out on? It went out on...
We were very lucky, very blessed, and we were fortunate to get the film on Amazon. So Cards on the Table, my debut feature film, can be found and viewed and streamed on Amazon right now.
Yes,
yes. And we're on course to making a second feature. Hopefully we'll shoot it this year. And of course the goal will be the holy grail of platforms, which is Netflix. You know what I mean? But it is what it is.
I'm going to have a role in it as well. So just so everybody knows, there'll be a role where I am the presenter talking to somebody.
And okay, no, that could work. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. But no, I think when you're running a small business, especially in the entertainment industry, which seems to an industry that doesn't necessarily seem to embrace your kind or your people or whatever.
Yeah.
You got to go hard. You got to go hard. You got to be fearless. You got to be creative.
Movie then, what was the pitfalls making that movie? And before it got to Amazon, what did you come up against?
Platforms that can promote, platforms like this, at any level. They don't necessarily want to talk to you unless you've done something. But what is that something? You can't get on BBC Three just like that, or ITV. Everyone needs stepping stone, right? Yeah. So that was clearly a pitfall. again, I'm not going to even mention them. They're not worth my time. But there's publications we all know that were sniffing. And when they knew there was no tracksuits, guns, and the N-word, they went cold on me. They were like, yeah, we want to see it. We want to, oh, okay, it's not what we thought it was. You know, that really hurt me a little bit because it's like, I'm sure you've seen the series of promotions I've got, where we've got 3 black men and a Greek guy wearing suits. I know for sure, like,
loved it.
My whole experience has shown me with this film, had I chosen as the creator and owner of the brand, had I chosen to have my 4 men wearing tracksuits, wielding machine guns, I would have got more press and more love. Without a doubt. I'll stick to my guns. I'll stick to my guns. I'm not going to bend because of the stereotypes that exist and so on and so forth. You know, we set out to do something and we've done it. We told a human story, a story about love, loss, failures, and victories in life. These are the things that we all go through.
That's right.
The things that we all experience, and that's what I needed and wanted to tell.
Because it says,
you know, I'll be very honest. Upon releasing it, I was worried as heck, thinking no one's going to get it. There's going to be a backlash, and I'm going to get slated. But there's not. Unless people are lying to me, there are literally thousands of people that either know me, don't know me, they've been in my DMs, tweet on Twitter. Everyone seems to want to like the film, and they've got nothing but nice things to say about it.
I loved it.
You know, and that really puts a filmmaker like me, puts my heart at ease, because you know, in my head as a filmmaker, I know it's a bit rough around the edges, low budget, etc. But it's given me so much desire to make the next feature. So we're on that now. Like
so that's what the question I was going to ask is, what next? What next now that this movie's gone out? Well,
right now there's a whole bunch of films. Right now there's a bunch of films that are out there, and most noticeably a film called This Fist, produced by a phenomenal female director friend of mine called Aisha Scott. I produced that film, co-produced it. There's a bunch of other films out there. So one, I'm out here helping support other people realize their dreams, whether I'm writing the scripts for them, whether I'm producing, co-directing. So that's imperative to me. Help other people. Remember when I was saying that when I was coming up and I saw people that look like me and I'm asking for help, I'm asking for a leg up, I'm getting told, nah, bro, stay down there. Can't help you, bro. It took me a long time to climb up there. I've experienced that all throughout the early noughties. So I'm going to help as many people as I can. Not to say I'm in any big position. You know what I mean? But I've definitely got a wealth of knowledge I've been sharing, and I'm happy to share. So 1, helping people. 2, there is another feature film. I can't give away the name of the film in a moment.
I don't expect you to.
But the goal is to be auditioning the end of May. Maybe going to production summer.
End of May this year.
Yeah, we ain't playing no game. This ain't a game. This ain't a hobby. You know what I mean? To some people, this film stuff is a hobby. Like, this is not a game at all. Like, I wish I was more courageous in my early 20s, because if I was, I'd be on my 10th feature film now. I only had the courage.
One of the things I noticed before, in all the videos that you've done, or the work that you've put in over a period of, say, 20 odd years, it took you to get literally into your 40s before you were able to have your first featured film. That's a lot of groundwork you've put in to get where you are today.
Well, I think there's some realizations that you come up against. I've had, I've sat down with ITV and other channels in regards to working on things, and my experience has been often they just want to own you or own everything, and you can fold and go down that path, or you can walk away from the industry, or you regroup and decipher that. I'm a massive fan of Tyler Perry, so much so that my son
look what Tyler Perry's achieved.
Exactly. So when I look, it's 2021 now, so there's more people we can look to. So I realized 5-6 years ago, ain't nobody gonna come out of the sky and give me 200 grand to make a feature. There was a point where me and my co-writer were moaning that, God, I wish there was a romantic comedy with people that look like us. I wish there was a sci-fi movie. Maybe we should do a James Bond, and then we made our film. The things you want to see done, we might have to do it ourselves.
Yes. Yes.
So,
and you need to be unique in what you're doing. You have to have that niche of your own.
Absolutely, absolutely. But I think it took me so long because of confidence as well, and the infancy of the audience. Our audience, in my humble opinion, when I say our audience, let's say the urban community, like people that love black culture. So
Culture, yes.
beyond black
Yes.
people, the Asians and the white people that love our culture have been fed on what we've been going on about, which is, yo, give me the gun. You're gonna die today, son. Say what? I gotta get out of the hood. Again, not to disrespect any filmmakers in that path, because we've all made that kind of content.
Because
But
but look, you've just pinpointed it. The reason
Mhm.
why there's so many of those films is because that's what people are buying into, and
that is
the
what
networks are
it
buying that
seems.
because they know
Yeah,
it sells. They're scared to put their
yeah,
money into good, hard crafted storylines like
yeah,
of what you've put out.
yeah. Absolutely agree. But because of that, that doesn't mean we shouldn't keep striving. So whether they want to invest or not, I'm gonna keep moving forward. I'm gonna tell those stories. You know what I'm saying? That's what
You
I'm
have
about.
to. You have to. It's the same, sort of concept like I was saying to you earlier, or you were saying to me, which was, you've got better. I remember you saying to me earlier, oh, you've got better. And as far as I'm concerned, I didn't even know you were even noticing if from when I started to where I am now. Someone rang me before I even did the show, and the guy was saying, oh, it took me ages just to get, I think he was saying something like, 4 or 500 subscribers on YouTube. And then I didn't say anything. And he goes, well, how many have you got? And I said, I don't know. And he said, no, you really need to start sending out da 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 da. And I said, I'm not going to lie. I don't, if he ever watches it back, and God bless him, I said, I know why I started this. And it wasn't as much as I'd like people to like
Yeah.
it. Yeah, as much as I want people to like it, I'm not prepared to sell my soul to the devil. And so I will continue. And he goes, but you always go live. And I said, yeah, there's no problem. I said, I'm used to being live. I'm used to talking live. I'm used to singing live. So for me, it's natural to just go live. No matter how nervous I am, it's natural to do that. So so he was saying, but you need to do, and I thought, I don't need to do anything. Whoever
No, you
watches,
follow your heart, man.
watches, and who don't watch, don't watch. But like you said, and I love I love this interview because you just kept going on about your journey. You've just gone on and on. But somebody spotted you. After 30, 40 videos, somebody still saw your worth. To me, that's inspiring. Do you know what I mean? That's inspiring. So here you are now. I hope you can still hear me. Can you hear me?
I can indeed.
Good.
I can.
So here you are now. You're inspiring other people.
I mean, I wouldn't say. I mean,
Yes, you are.
I
You've got your
definitely,
family.
I definitely mentor people and try to, but I wouldn't say I do. People tell me I do, but I wouldn't say I
You
do.
do.
You know what I'm saying?
You
Gotta
do.
keep it humble.
You
Thank
do.
you. I'll take the
Because
compliment.
for you to be in the position that you're in now, you had to travel that weary road of the racism, the put downs, not being able to speak your truth, stand in your truth.
Mm-hmm.
Now you can stand in your truth. You can say, no, I'm not doing that.
Yeah,
And
and I've been
I
saying
don't,
that.
yeah, I don't agree with that. And I deal with diversity. I've watched you. I've done my homework on you, right? You deal with diversity. You notice that there's a market, and it's not even so much a market. You know that we're human beings. Human beings. Which brings me to right here and now. How are you
Right here.
coping with you're making the movie, you're making all these different moves, you're mentoring people. How are you conserving that energy and still having to you've got children at home. So what's the balance? What's that fine balance?
As much as well, for me, as much as I can, family first, family over everything. As much as, I mean, I'm divorced, so I generally co-parent. But the whole of this month, my son's been with me, which is great, helping him stay on track with his schooling and stuff. But effectively, Sam Addo, That's me, guys. In case y'all didn't realize, it's me. I have a small mixed media company. The company is called Shadow Group. Shadow Group
Keep speaking. I'm
has
going to bring it up. It's here. Go on. Yeah.
Shadow Group has a film, TV, and music division, of which I make content for myself as well as I provide services. Now, 2-3 years ago, though, that we gave birth to Shadow Group Community Projects, which still goes under the guise of Shadow Group, but its legal trading name is Shadow Group Community Projects. And so I went from being a youth worker to running creative services for certain boroughs, particularly Essex. I've dipped in and out of Lambeth and Tower Hamlets, but I have some contracts with Essex. And so as soon as COVID hit, like everyone else, you get worried, because when you're a filmmaker, you're not making regular, consistent money, right? It comes and goes. It's in dribs and drabs. It can be big checks 1 month and nothing for a series of months. So to sustain myself, I'll be teaching drama, music, and creative service type activities.
Oh, really?
That's what I was doing for youth work.
Okay.
In the gaps, shall we say, as a youth worker, and there were certain things about being a youth worker that I could tell while I was engaging with the young people, I could tell that they were bored or the work they were doing was wildly, it was just predictable. So I'd always go to my line managers and say, hey man, why don't we try this? Well, they had these rigid rules and regulations. So around 2010, I think, I started pitching to boroughs, saying, look, I've got years of experience of a youth worker. We want to do this, this, and this. And the last 2-3 years, that has come to pass. So, like I say, I've been running creative services for different boroughs on and off 3 years.
And what sort of things are you running within this creative services for the youngsters?
When it was face to face, it would be things that touch on theatre, music production, songwriting, creating albums, making films, doing musicals, all of that. Everything that is creative, which also sprinkles elements of health and well-being, usually through sports. So because we engaged with over 40 families before lockdown, and we must have made some kind of impact. Last year, March, when we went into lockdown, although I'd never really done what I do face-to-face in a remote way, we did it, we were blessed, and it continued the whole of last year, and off the back of it, it birthed 2 other contracts for further afield. So
and is this not just face-to-face? Is this also allowed you to interface through Zoom and internet?
Well, I mean, I use different methods. It's not always Zoom, but it could be as simple as sending content to the children through their parents' phones, and then they send it back. It's not always like this, but the main thing is this. For me, lockdown has been horrible by way of me seeing and feeling my friends and families losing people. And when you try and be there for your family and friends, at some point it can drain you yourself. So I've learned I've got to occasionally plug out, refresh, hit the reset button, and take care of my mental. You know what I'm saying? Or else I can't be great for my kids. Not good, great. I got to be great for my kids. I'm trying to be good.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. So if you make sure your mental's good, you can also be there and be good for your friends and so on and so forth. But one of the biggest things that have really impacted my friends and associates are, people with mortgages, and some people never know where their money's been coming. And I've been very fortunate that the youth sector has kept the lights on for me, which has helped me be able to sustain myself somewhat and help those nearest and dearest to me. So I'm thankful for that. I'm thankful for the families that have allowed my company to still provide their families and children with, fun, creative activities, because these activities also provide respite for the parents. These parents are not teachers. Suddenly their kids are there all day. And when school's finished, these kids now might want to interact with their parents. So
and they're not ready.
Not at all. So we provide two assignments a week, or 2 activities a week. We send them out on a Sunday, and they're delivered back to us on a Saturday, and that goes through all year round. So those contracts have really helped me have time to, when you're writing a feature film, ain't nobody paying you. You're making
No,
a
you
film in big
don't.
pain.
Yeah.
Unless you're in Hollywood. Unless you're in Hollywood, you've already sold 1 million tickets. You know what I mean? No one, so, you know, it's all a bit of a, I film and edit people's actors' show reels. I still make some documentary type things, and you get paid for these things, but they are far and few in between. Yes, you can, like I said earlier, you can make a big chunk of money in January, but you may not make any other money till June.
Yeah.
So, so in
Perilous
between those
times, my
times,
darling, perilous times.
perilous time. So in between those times, and well, throughout those times now, anyway, I've been surviving with the creative services that Shadow Group provides, and I'm very grateful for that. But yeah, COVID has been, or the pandemic, whatever you want to call it, it's been horrible. But I'm quite I have one of my sayings. I said it yesterday on this other show. Persistence overcomes resistance. I'm a persistent kind of brother, particularly for the things I do and things I want for myself.
Yeah.
If I have a plan for something, I'm going to execute it. I've always felt action speaks louder than words. I'm not going to talk too much about a film. I'm going to make that film. Do you know what I mean? I'm that kind of person. So if I'm really honest, I've not been too affected by the world slowing down. If anything, we need the world to slow down. We all need to slow down a little piece. You know what I'm saying? Yes, it seems there's a whole bunch of agendas from governments and stuff. Yes, there's clearly something going on. People are clearly dying, but there's all these new rules and regulations they implement without even telling the public. It's obvious. They've got other agendas. So I'm just always trying to be safe,
one step ahead,
happy, one step ahead, and loving, and because you never know what people are going through, right?
That's right.
You never know what somebody else is going through. So
absolutely.
I'm trying more to listen to people, do my best to listen more, to advise or guide, even if I can be useful to anybody. But I'm just trying to keep all balance. And the second I ever feel, oh my God, it's too much. Oh my God, I'm now a bit confused, I rein it all in. I chill a second. If I'm like, make a decision, I don't want to answer a phone call to no one today, I'm not going to answer a phone call to no one today, because my mental health, I run a small little business, and it's been running. In truth, Shadow Group was birthed in 2003. That little break in between H&M and realizing, what am I talking about? I was born to be in this industry. Forget what the bees scarred me with, you know what I mean? So that's 2003, and there hasn't been a year that I've not done some kind of activity. So to keep focused, to keep pushing forward, to keep growing, to help other people with work, because I love to employ people as and when I can, depending on the budgets I get. Me personally, mentally, I need to be sharp and on point. So like I say, I take care of that. I make sure. Some people just, especially men who don't talk about their feelings and stuff,
absolutely,
just keep going.
Absolutely.
And then you break. You will actually break.
Yeah.
So when you see the telltale signs, you've got to press pause. Take a moment.
Tell them. Keep telling them. Please keep telling people.
I
need to press pause.
Really do. I really do, man.
You have to press the pause. And I'm glad that you're saying all of this, because I didn't even have to ask you half of the questions. You just literally just walked it through. You just walked it all through, which was effortless, absolutely effortless. And believe it or not, it was only supposed to be an hour, and here we are. It's 9 o'clock. It's 9 o'clock. The last thing I know, right? This is what I'm saying. The last thing you've given out some advice to people is to press pause. I know that I have had to press pause a few times doing this, because after a while you get drained. It's people think it's easy to do all of this, and there's a young lady, I don't know if she's still online, and Tasha, who she started her own business about 2 years ago, and I watch her and I know the energy she's put in, and I can see it flourishing. It's flourishing, and I can see in the chat room, Tash, you are flourishing. It's beautiful. She's also mentioned Freddie Noanka just did a rom-com on a tiny budget. She's the one. Yeah, I know about that one. Have you seen it? She's the one, the rom-com.
No. One of my good friends was telling me about it yesterday. It's in my plans to watch it this week. I know Freddie. Me and Freddie seem to keep getting we've been nominated a few times for things, and he always keeps winning. He's very, very good.
No,
He's very, very,
Freddie is just top, absolutely top.
very consistent.
And
Have you had him on the show yet?
sorry?
Have you had him on your show yet?
No, I don't think Freddie would come on my show.
Make it happen.
Like
Make
you,
it happen.
like you.
And do not assume. Do not
Sorry?
assume. Do not assume.
No,
Do not
Freddie
assume.
wouldn't come on my
honestly.
show. Listen, there is so many topics that I would like to talk about on standing in my truth, that I've found that I've actually taken a kick back and allowed everyone to just be themselves. But I would say 90% of the people that have come on this show, I identify with them in many ways or form. It's like I identify with you from the film creativity, aspect, and your ethos. Coming from, as I said, there's things that when you if you didn't go to drama school, you don't have to go to drama school to be able to use a camera. But what you will do is you will pick up those things that you would have learnt in drama school, drummed into your head, that you can tell someone else. And I heard you say it. And when my first drama school was Anna Shares. And so
I never.
you're right, so I went to Anna Shares, and there's things that you've said and I just laughed. I sat here and I thought, that's why I identify with you. I see where you're going. That's why I could understand the cards on the table, or bestie. Whereas some other people were like, nah, man, nah, rah, rah, rah. Yes, man, nah, man.
I hear you. And I really appreciate that. I really appreciate that.
Do you see where
And I think as a creative, I fully see where you're coming from. But as a creative, it's also imperative that you understand. Like, I understand my work isn't for everybody. Some people don't. I mentor a few people, and there's so many people that will put out some music or they'll put out a book, and they are heartbroken if they get some negativity or something. It's not that serious, man. If someone rings me now and says they hate my film, I'm fine with it. I'm fine. Everyone's entitled to their own opinion. But I love the fact that some of my work does connect with people.
They do get serious. They do get serious. I critiqued. Look, I know that people can critique me and say, oh, your show's boring or blah, blah. And the people that you have on, I've actually had someone that says the people that I have on is not, and I actually just said, the people that I choose to interview are people that are doing things in the walk of life. You probably just want pasa, or you want to be talking
they want the biggest stars. Right. And they don't also understand that sometimes it takes a bit of time to get the biggest people.
And I have my dream. And like you say, you got to hold on to that dream. And I'm saying this for everybody else that's listening to that, if they do, is to hold on to that dream. And I hope you agree with me here, is
absolutely
hold on to the dream, find what you're comfortable with, find the niche. You might not be unique in it. You may not be unique, but you can still put your own on that and make it a uniqueness. You don't need to follow a trend to be part of something. Because if we all looked the same, we'd be tired of looking at each other. If we did the same things, we'd be bored. Now, and this is why we're in lockdown, bored. Some of us are bored as hell. And if you notice, there's so many podcast shows now. There's so many Instagram models. There's so many Instagram DJs. There is so many people that never left their homes. They would go a 9-to-5 job. But because they've become brave, they're now using the tools to express themselves. And I just think it's brilliant. There's room for everyone. You just need. The thing I was going to say to you, which is I wrote down in my questions, is this: as it's such a sensation in lockdown for people to be doing, like myself, podcasting, etc. Do you see this petering out when lockdown is eased and people can now go out and they can go to the movies?
Do I see what petering down?
Sorry?
Do I see what petering down?
Do you see that the audience level that some people will have on Instagram and Facebook and all these likes that people have paid money to get, things like that? What will happen to that, all that money they've spent to create this brand, and now we're back on the street? Because
It's,
when we were
again,
going out, we ain't got time to be looking at no brand on no phone.
I think it's actually a brilliant question, and in my humble opinion, it's a very much so an individualistic thing, because if some brother in Brixton works as a manager at Lidl's, but now has been living in his house on furlough for 9 months, and he started a decent podcast, it's about him. He's going to decide, oh, okay, I've got to go back to work, but I'm going to make sure I schedule things for the podcast because I've got a growing audience. I love it. Boom, boom, boom. Meanwhile, Mary in Luton, same living conditions, she might not care. Or she was never on it anyway. Like, that's what you tell the truth. You tell the real people from the fakers. Some people are making a YouTube interview because they've seen what you do and they're like haters and they're like, I can do it better. And as soon as it's time to go back to work, they're going to drop it.
Yeah. Yeah.
This same environment we're living in might encourage someone to. In fact, I know people that have been they've been doing it 9 to 5. They're in a rut, and now this is giving them a chance to write that book they wanted to write.
That's right. Absolutely.
So if they've got to go back to work,
absolutely,
they can finish the book. So it's a very much so an individualistic thing.
Absolutely.
Different for everybody. You know?
That's right. Which is why I said I've always said in my shows and when I've talked to people is this: if you have sat in COVID and not looked at yourself as an individual and said, I can't live like this anymore, because you've been given time to think.
To evaluate,
to evaluate. Like, for argument's sake, on one, apart from the YouTube show, I do, I sit and do a podcast. But I decided not to do the podcast visually. Now, I've had to up the game and say, okay, I'm now going to visualize. I've now got a website. I've now got all this stuff. But it takes time. You don't need to let everybody know everything all at once. But people who are sitting at home watching and not doing anything for themselves, it's a liberty. You've just taken the piss. Excuse my French. Because you should be addressing, all right, you don't have to be doing a podcast show. You don't have to be doing a photography and creating all this stuff. You could actually be taking care of your affairs. You could be looking at your life and looking at your children and saying, is this how I want to be when I come out of lockdown? Is this relationship I'm in right now, is it the right place for me to be in? Do I have that difficult conversation? Do you see where I'm coming from?
No, I'm with you. But I feel it always boils down to the individual and what you want. If somebody just wants to be able to earn enough money to go raving on a Friday night, they're going to go back to and live their, whatever existence they had before, they're going back to that.
Yeah.
But if someone else has had their eyelids ripped open and they can really see, man, I spent the last 9 months doing a YouTube fitness thing and I've touched loads of people's lives, they might give up their job and they might chase this goal. So I think what you do is great, and your spirit is
I'm trying.
amazing.
I'm
trying. I think you in your own way keep telling people, what you're doing is you're showing people to do your thing, and that's all we can do. Be an example to people. I know there's loads of filmmakers I know I'll be fired to write or to produce, and I'm thankful and I'm honoured that I've impacted some people somehow. You know what I'm saying? So I think if we ever go back to normality, whatever that now will be, you will find some people are going to stand the test of time. They're going to push on and leave things that they once had, or they'll try and balance the two. Or some people that will never seriously just go back to that job in Barclays Bank. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's what that will be,
They've found their comfortability, is what I say.
Mm-hmm.
Sam, it has been, do you know what I mean? I could sit here and talk with you all day. I wanted to go to you and say to you, about the kids. I know you're homeschooling them and keep it. I remember you mentioning yesterday that your son plays football. Is that correct?
Yeah.
How's he coping with that, not being able to go football?
Well, hey man, we're allowed to go and do some exercise. So we 2 days a week we're doing some kind of football drills. He does some Instagram content, So no, we stay fit around here. Or we're trying to stay fit around here. We're not trying to. we're trying to be positive around here. There's none of this doom and gloom around here at all. You know, we are trying to follow the rules the best we can. But if we want to go for a stroll, we're going to go for a stroll. If we're going to do some skipping, do some football stuff, do some comedy stuff, we're going to do it. You know, we still have our
Fantastic.
we're still allowed to do some stuff. You know, until they try and take away everything from us. You know, we've got. As a parent, I'm trying to keep things as normal as possible. Sorry to cut you. As a parent, on my side of things, I'm trying to keep things as normal as possible for the kids. That's what I'm trying.
And your final words to anyone that's out there that actually this is what I'd like from you.
Okay.
Anyone who's a budding actor, actress, director, film, music, videos. That's my first question. What advice would you give them to start to their journey? Forget about being Instagram. You need to do the journey. Instagram is not enough.
Anybody who is in or trying to get in to the entertainment industry across the board, acting, music, whatever it is, my humble opinion to you is start. 20, 30 years ago, the tools you would need to do any of this stuff was very expensive. Your phone could be your video camera. Your phone is your photography camera. There's no time to dilly-dally. Tomorrow's not promised. Any troubles you have, there's usually an answer on YouTube. So if you're like, oh my God, I filmed something, I don't know how to edit. Maybe you go onto YouTube and ask, how can I edit? You know what I'm saying? The answers are there. Don't expect people to just give you everything. So, you know, pretty please with chairs and stuff on top. Stop talking about it. Be about it. You know what I'm saying? That's what my advice is. You know what I'm saying? Next question.
The next question is, if you're homeschooling, because I know you've got positive vibes going on, for anyone that, because obviously you are giving the parents who are at home who never thought in a million years that they'd have to know how to add up 2 and 2 and then come out with make 5, right? They're struggling because they never thought, as far as they're concerned, the school is there for those teachers to teach their kids.
Absolutely.
The schools are at bending point. There's hardly any laptops. There's hardly any iPads. You know, there's a company at the moment who's giving out Kindles, etc.
Yeah.
Any pearl of wisdom that you can give to a parent who has probably not got an iPad or hasn't got a laptop, but they've got a phone, what would you say to them in terms of homeschooling? Because they will be frustrated. They're frustrated because guess what? They're being asked questions by their children and I'm going to put it like this. They're looking dumb. They're looking dumb.
Yeah.
They're looking dumb in front of their kids, right? And the last thing the parents want to do is look dumb. So some of them are getting angry, or they are, it's hard
Absolutely.
work.
Absolutely.
It's hard work.
That is such a low question. It's not the kind of question I'd answer in 2-3 paragraphs. It's a whole different interview, actually. Yeah.
But I know we can do this. I know this is one of the subjects that I know because I sit and I look at it and I think.
If you're a parent and you just want to help your child, let's say you have the tools, let's say you have the computers and all the rest of it, I think it's really important to try your best to be awake when they're awake. It's very easy to fall into a bad sleeping pattern, and you're awake, son, and they're doing the work, and you're not. Make sure that you wake up when they wake up, that they are in when they're meant to be in. That if they're allowed a break, some schools are doing breaks, some schools are not. If there's a break, you ensure that your children are hydrated and they get up and stretch their legs and all the rest of it. One thing I found with my son, bless him, is by week 2, Dad, I've got headaches. I've got headaches now. You know what I mean? Because, they've gone from staring at a human being to staring at screens, right? So I've been advising him, and I saw immediate effects. Reduce the contrast and the color of don't let the screens be too bright. So those are for parents who are active and trying to be active. Parents who have next to nothing, like they've got damaged phones, they don't have they don't have the internet, or there is bad internet connection, or they don't speak English, or you know what I mean, whatever that might be. There has to be some communication with some teachers immediately, or everyone suffers. There's got to be you can't put your head in the sand. You can't do none of this. I'm gonna be ashamed nonsense. It's got to be, I'm thinking over it. I'm thinking. Oh, you've gone missing.
Oh, I'm here.
Hello.
You're not there.
Can you see me?
I can see.
No, no.
I can
What?
hear you. But oh, there you go.
One, two. Yeah, my phone time locked out.
Oh, sorry.
It's got to be. Look. The whole time, my son's been homeschooling and stuff. There's consistent emails from every subject teacher about progress. There's occasional dipping. My son's in secondary school. His form tutor emails myself and his mother. So it's not impossible to email, phone, or text these people.
Yes.
So carers, you have to take the courage and message them and say, I'm going to be honest, I'm having difficulty here. There is no Kindle here. There isn't a laptop. We can't afford internet connection. You can't, especially when it comes to your children's education and well-being and future, there's no time for embarrassment. There's time for transparency. I need help. Can you send us a laptop? Or can we do something different? Can you send a book in the post and everything's handwritten?
Yeah.
Ask for all of the alternative protocols, because there's protocols in place.
Yeah.
Because systems are breaking down, crashing all of the time, they're not really trying to volunteer these alternatives because there's so much pressure on the teachers as it is.
That's right. That's right.
In humble opinion, if there is major, there's homes that have got children with disabilities, elderly people. So there's so much going on in the house that the children are often asked to fend for themselves, with or without all of the tools. So parents, guardians, older siblings, please, I'm urging you, not as any expert, just as a normal parent, don't be ashamed, don't be afraid, communicate. They're there to help. And also never forget these schools and education systems, they all need good results and good feedback. They don't want to get told that parents are complaining or any of that stuff. So call them, email them immediately. Don't wait till June. Do it now.
Sam, I love it, and I just, damn it, I could sit here and continue talking. Thank you so much for taking your time and coming on Standing in My Truth, the All About You show. And people, and the information will be tagged onto the end of this video. And also it will be going onto the website. As we speak, there's someone working on the website because that's going to be launching. Wow. Yeah, we've got a new launch. We've got a whole new, I've got a rebranded newsletter, everything.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Keep pushing.
Yeah. So
may I just say,
oh, please.
1,000 thank yous for having me on. I truly appreciate it. I'm humbled. I don't care if this is BBC or in your living room. To be asked to share time with another creative who is also on their own journey, it always touches me. I like to be part of people's careers. I'd like to publicly say, if you need any additional help with getting guests from any sector, the education sector, the youth sector, music, film, it's a phone call. Just let me know and we'll try and figure it out.
That'd be amazing.
But keep pushing.
Yeah.
Keep pushing, because you're a humble young lady, and I'm sure there's some people out there, young women, young people that are looking at you thinking, oh, I could do that. I want to try that. So never think, like, you and I are not the kind of people that are interested in numbers and views and whatever likes. But never underestimate silence. Yeah. Somebody's watching. There's probably someone. It takes one. There'll be someone that likes your hairstyle or your makeup routine. There'll be one fan who likes you, but they're not confident to even say it. So you keep doing what you're doing.
Thank you.
You keep pushing.
Thank you.
Others.
All I'm doing is bringing voices to the table. Different voices, and your voice has definitely carried weight. And I'm just glad that it's part of my platform, and it will just go up. And if anybody wants to, as I said, if you want to go out and watch Cards on the Table, you don't need to leave your home. You just need to get yourself Amazon Prime, and you can definitely watch Cards on the Table. It is still showing. It is a great watch. I would say to you also, go on to, not Cotsfield, goes to Shadow, and is it shadow.net, isn't it?
Nope. No, not to embarrass you. She got it wrong, guys. She got it really, really wrong, guys.
I did, didn't I?
Shadowgroup.com.
That's I'm looking at it.
We're a mixed media company.
Yeah.
We make content, we make films,
and
all
you've
of
got
that.
Shadow Group. If you go onto Shadow Group, you would actually see it, because Sam did not, his besties, you have to go onto Shadow Group to watch it. I was
No,
screwing.
no, I put it back online.
Oh,
Publicly.
when
You
did
can
you
still
do
get it.
that?
It's on Shadow Group. You know, I have a YouTube channel called The Shadow Group, which has an
Ah,
obscene
that's
amount of
why I
content.
couldn't find it. So so on YouTube, the Shadow Group, you can go
Yeah,
and watch Besties. It's a 8 little mini series. It really is touching. And right now we
that's so
need
sweet.
lifting, and I'm telling you, this is something to lift your spirits.
It would be really
It's
lovely if you could. It would be lovely if you could take the link and just put it underneath the video
I will.
in time
I
to come,
will. I will definitely do
because
that.
there is a lot of content over there. It could be tricky to find, if I'm being honest. It could be tricky to find.
Oh,
I
darling, I
don't stop
spend half
making
of my
stuff.
time on Tinternet now. There is nothing that Val can't find. Can't you see I'm doing
Ah,
OBS? I've
I
taught
see ya.
myself.
I
I've
see ya.
taught myself to do all this technology. Just about got the microphone working today.
You're doing very, very well. Very
So I
professional.
have to big up my brother and Philly Blunt, and I have to big up Lynch, DJ Lynch. These are all people that I tapped into before I even started. And now and again,
Brilliant.
if I don't understand anything, but in the last few weeks, they've given me the tools, and I've just ran with it. And so,
Well, it's excellent.
do you
It's
know what I mean?
excellent. And I wish you
I can't
every
take any
success.
of this on my own. So those are the 3 main people: my brother, Chris Jackson, who's a DJ on an Injection Radio. Oh, and Addo, this will be going out on Injection Radio. The
I
recording
seen
of
it.
this.
It's going out right now, or in the
No,
future?
it will
Or
be going out on
that
injectionradio.com
is
next week.
fantastic.
Yeah.
Hi,
So,
everyone on Injection Radio.
yeah, injectionradio.com. What they do is my
Brilliant.
shows that goes out live then goes out a week later, to introduce to a whole new audience.
That is brilliant.
Yeah.
Absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, so I just want to let you know. Sam, thank you again. I just wish we could have got Instagram, because we could have just dealt with the Instagram. So maybe we'll do an Instagram with just me and you, and get onto Instagram and continue this conversation on another
Whatever
day.
you'd like to do, young lady.
Absolutely,
Whatever
I'd
you'd
love
like
to
to
do
do.
it. Say bye to the folks, to everybody.
Thank you very much for spending your time with us. We
the chat
appreciate you. Take
room.
care. Be safe, everybody.
Yeah, to the chat room. Say bye.
Wow, we're in a chat room as well.
Yeah, we're in a chat room.
Hey, chat room. Wow, we everywhere.
Do you know what I mean?
Now, seriously.
Natasha says thanks, King. Siobhan's just
thanks,
joined
Queen.
us. As I said, a lot of people are watching football at the moment. Most of the
No,
audience.
it's all good. It's all good. But listen,
good,
thank you so much for your time, taking time out to find me, to do your research, and to give me this opportunity. I'm humbled, and I always will be. And let's stay in touch.
Yeah.
Keep doing great work.
Definitely. I'm going to put Natasha in touch with you as well, because as long as Natasha, I don't know if you're still in the chat room, if you're still there. I could see Carol Thompson's in the other room as well. Jesus.
Carol Thompson, the legend.
No, Carol Thompson is not the Carol Thompson. I thought so too, but that's Tash. That's Tash's family. But I think you'd be a great asset for what Natasha does as well. So if you want, thank you, Queen. Let me go see if Tottenham Slay. Don't you dare tell me. Do not tell me the scores, Tasha. Don't. But yeah, she goes, that's her mum. That's her mum, Carol Thompson. Right, okay. But Tasha, I'm going to put in touch with you, because I really think that you and Sam could do amazing. She runs Black Wall Street London 2020. They've got United We Trust UK. Yep, these are my girls. So I'm bigging them both up, which is United We Trust UK and Black Wall Street London. They are watching. And I just feel that what you do is a great asset to their team. So I've just done a big out there. That's
Thank you very much.
Sleep well, feel well, keep doing what you're doing. And I'm hoping in June, I'm going to have you back when you've got your next movie out.
In June, we may be in the middle of filming it. The film is not likely to come out this year, but the intention is to film it this year.
And God Spare My Life and everything else.
You'd like me to come back.
Dibs. Yeah, I want my first dibs for the interview.
Deal. I'm a man of my word.
My microphone and do the interview at the screen.
Okay, remember you said that. Because you won't get that phone call.
Yeah, you owe me. You owe me. God bless you. Thank you again, Sam Addo.
God bless you. Thank you so much. Have a great weekend.
I will
Enjoy your weekend ahead. And I'm sure we'll be in touch. You take care. Be safe now. Okay.
Will do, darling. Get myself prepared
Bye
now
bye.
for
Good
my
night, one
sports
and
show.
all. All right. Take it. Bye.
Bye bye, my lovely. Whee! Oh, wow. Oh, my days. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, yes, I'm still here. I was like, oh, Jesus, what's happened? Thank you to Sam who joined us today, and to everyone, thank you again for your time. It has been truly amazing. I'm just about to end him out here so I can take him off the screen and convert him. But yeah, thank you to everybody. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm going off to go and find out the results of Tottenham. Nobody tells me the score. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, Kat. Thank you, thank you, Tash. When people do watch this back, I hope they'll enjoy it as much as you did. Right, I'm off to go and find out what Tottenham's up to. I'm sending, again, positive affirmations. Please, virtual hugs, virtual hugs. By the way, I'm going to put this out there to anyone before we all go. As February is the month of love, well, I call it the month of love, I'm looking for people who are happy to come in and talk about their love story. February is all about love. Love, love. Oh my God, someone has just sent a message that says we are so shit. Shite. Oh my God, it's that bad. Oh, I don't want to go and watch the game now. But I'm putting these stories out there. If anyone knows who've got great love stories, even if they fell in love with someone and it didn't work out, but it was the love of their life, please get in touch with me because I want to air your story. If you know anyone who's deeply in love and they want to share their Valentine's story with me, literally all of February, it's all about love. We're sharing love stories. Pass it on, let me know, put them in touch with me, and let's have a lovely February while we're still in lockdown. Peace, love. Oh my God, 4-0 to Liverpool. Oh my God. Oh no, she goes jokes. Take care, folks.